are actually touching my collarbones here. So that's how high up, almost to the neck. I'm going to close my eyes just for a few moments. I'm going to notice the back side of my body that's in contact with the floor. Noticing how that feels to have that floor beneath me. Feeling it under the soles of my feet. Under my low back, mid back, upper back, and shoulders. And the back of my head. I'm going to notice the front side of my body, the part that is not in contact with the floor, but is exposed to the ceiling. Noticing the sensation of air on my skin, and then noticing the sensation of clothing on my skin as well. And then noticing my breath. So not changing or altering my breath in any way, just noticing the natural rhythm of my breath this morning. I might feel my chest and belly rise on an inhale, and then return on the exhale. Nothing to fix, nothing to change. I'm merely noticing breath. And then let's take one more inhale and exhale here. And with your next exhale, just go ahead, release your arms down if you haven't already. And then I'm just going to bring my feet kind of closer together, release my knees, and then I'm going to hug my right knee in. Just give that right knee a nice little squeeze. I can certainly feel that in my low back. I feel it in my glutes. A little bit of compression in my right hip socket. And then I'm going to release that knee and then hug the other knee. So hugging that other knee in. And just noticing the difference from side to side, how that just this one little action feels. And releasing that knee and that foot to the floor as well. I'm going to go ahead and straighten out my body. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and lengthen my legs. And I'm going to interlace my fingers and press my palms towards the ceiling and then over the top of my head if I can. And then point my toes and take a really long, full body stretch here, just lengthening out my whole body. And then releasing out of that. Walking both of my feet over to the right corner of my mat. So I'm walking both feet over. And then I might cross that left ankle over the right ankle. So that's just kind of solidifying my little foundation there. And then I'm going to wiggle my shoulders over to the right as well. But I'm going to go ahead and keep the rest of my body right here in the middle. I'm going to reach my arms up and over and then hold on to that left wrist as I pull to the side. Oh my goodness. Guys, I'm so sorry. Hold that pose. What's going on? Oh dear. Hi. Come on in. It's right through there. First door on the right. You are welcome. I'll be upstairs. Thank you.
Do you want your sticker put on your clients? Or?
Yeah, that would be perfect. Thank you. Holding in your side stretch. Taking one more inhale here. I'm so sorry, guys. And then releasing out of that shape, arms come down, releasing the feet back to the middle and just relaxing here. And then we'll take that second side. So walking the feet over to the left. If it feels okay, crossing that right ankle over the left ankle. Snuggling the shoulders to the left as well. Feeling that whole right side now kind of stretch open. Reaching the arms overhead, holding on to that right wrist if that feels okay, providing a little bit of resistance in the upper body. And letting that whole right side have a nice yawn, a nice opening. And just pausing here and breathing. Never fails. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then releasing out of that shape. Are you done? I'm so sorry. Oh, good. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a great new year. See you later. Okay. All right. Coming out of that pose, let's hug both knees in to the chest. Maybe make some circles with those knees in one direction. And then reverse the direction, making some circles in the other way, just feeling that low back get a nice little bit of movement and massage, and then pausing in the middle. From here, I'm going to have you go ahead and either roll over to one side and press yourself up, or just rock and roll yourself up to your seat. We're going to make our way to all fours, coming into a tabletop. So from here, I am going to grab that blanket that I had earlier and place that blanket under my knees, because my knees need some extra support on these wood floors. So even though my mat is nice and cushy, I still need a little bit of additional support here. So coming into your tabletop, your hands and wrists are going to, your wrists are going to be under your shoulders. Your knees are going to be under your hips. And we're going to manipulate the spine a little bit here. So as I take my next breath in, I'm going to go ahead and lift that tailbone, draw the shoulders back, lift the chin slightly if that feels okay in my neck. If it doesn't, I can remain neutral in the neck. And then as I exhale, I'm going to press into those hands, round the spine, coming into my cat. Inhaling again, gently moving the vertebra back into compression or extension. And then exhale, flexion, coming into my cat. Feeling this mind decompress here. Let's take one more together. Inhale. And exhale, rounding. And then coming right back to a neutral spine. My eye gaze is going to be forward to the top edge of my mat. My tailbone is nice and long, and I'm gently pulling up my belly button here. So I'm pulling my belly button up towards my spine, gently, just to engage those abdominals. I'm going to take that right leg and extend it back. My toes are tucked under, and I'm going to go ahead and just create a little bit of movement here, forward and back. And then I'm going to pause. Feel free to adjust your hands if needed. From here, with my right leg extended back behind me, I'm going to go ahead and reach my left arm forward. So I've got a left arm forward, right leg back, and then I'm going to see if I might be able to hover that leg, or that foot rather, off the ground. Reaching forward with left fingertips and pressing back with right heel. Holding here for 2. We've got one more inhale here, strong core. And exhale, hand comes down, knee comes down. I'm going to flatten my feet here and sit back on my heels. Little wrist, right? Little wrist relief. So I'm just going to make some circles with my hands. And then reverse it. Nicely done. And then we've got that second side. So let's go ahead, make our way back into our tabletop. And I think just for good measure, we'll take a couple more cows and cats just to kind of reset the spine. So inhale into your cow and exhale into your cat. Inhale and exhale. And then coming back to that neutral spine, eye gaze to the top edge of your mat. Left leg will extend back, toes are tucked under and on the floor. Forward and back motion here. Creating a little bit of movement. I feel that nice stretch in the sole of my foot and in the back of my leg. Coming to stillness again, maybe readjusting the hands, making sure I have a good foundation underneath. Reaching my right arm forward, pulling my belly button up and in, and then seeing if it feels okay to lift that left leg. You are welcome to stop anywhere along the journey here. So if hovering that left leg just doesn't feel good today, keep the toes on the ground. It's perfectly fine. We have one more inhale here. One more exhale. Bringing hand and knee down. And again, I'm going to point the toes in the back. Interlace my fingers and roll my wrists this time. So rolling the wrists, both clockwise and counterclockwise. Counterclockwise always feels so weird. All right, and then releasing down. Couple of shoulder rolls here. Lift the shoulders up and down and back. Up, back and down. One more. Up, back and down. Coming to all fours again, I'm going to make our way to a standing position. So from here, I'm going to grab my blocks. If you happen to have blocks, great. If you don't, that's okay too. Remember, you can use those paper towels if you like. So I'm going to place my hands on the blocks, and then I'm going to bring my right foot forward. So my right foot is coming forward. I'm going to tuck the toes under of that left foot, lift up, and then with my next inhale, I'm going to bring my feet together with bent knees, and then rise up to a standing position. I'm going to make sure you can see me here. Camera. Hopefully. Okay, let's see. All right, so standing here at the top edge of my mat, I'm going to stand tall in my mountain. So my feet are parallel to one another. I'm going to look down, check my toes, check my feet, and then I'm going to lift all 10 toes up off the floor. Take an inhale here, and then individually place each one of those toes down. Nice. Shoulders are relaxed. Belly again is just slightly engaged. I'm just pulling my navel in slightly, lengthening through the low back. And then my arms are just going to be down by my side. With your next inhale, go ahead, bend your knees, reach your arms forward as we make our way into chair pose. Sitting in my chair, arms reach forward, weight travels into the heels of my feet. I'm imagining I'm kind of squeezing something between my knees, so activating those adductor muscles. I'm really feeling this in the quadriceps here, building strength in the legs. Taking one more inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to reach down, place my hands on my blocks, on my paper towels, or fingertips to floor. And then I'm going to step that left leg all the way back. I'm going to go ahead and drop that knee down. So the knee is on the floor. My front foot is on the floor as well. I'm going to untuck those toes. And then if I want, I can add the arms here. So adding this really nice opening to the front side of my body. Feeling free, feeling strong. Taking one more inhale. And then I'm going to exhale, hands back toward the floor. I'm going to lift up that back knee. And with my next inhale, I'm going to bring that foot forward with both knees bent. Rise up, reach up high if that feels okay. And then I'm going to bring hands to heart center. Beautiful. One down, one to go. Second round for us. With your next inhale, bend those knees, reach the arms forward, coming into Utkatasana, otherwise known as chair pose. Some people even call this pose lightning bolt. Holding here, building strength, weights in the heels, toes are light. One more inhale. As you exhale, bend those knees, bring fingertips to, or hands to floor or prop. I'm going to drop that right knee down this time. Right leg goes back. Left knee is lunging forward. And then adding the arms if you want. Adding those arms, reaching up, relax the shoulders. You might even find a teeny little back bend here as you lift the heart towards the sky. Nice stretch going on in that right hip flexor. Taking one more inhale here. And as you exhale, bringing the hands back to floor or prop. Tuck the toes under, lift that right knee off the ground. And with your next inhale, bring that foot forward, bend those knees, rise up, reaching high. Palms may press together. Exhale, hands to heart. Nice. All right, we've got one more variation on this lunge, and that's going to involve a rotation of the spine. So we're going to twist. Let's go. Inhale, chair pose. Not going to be here as long. Only 3 breaths this time instead of 5. Relaxing shoulders. One last inhale here. Exhale, hands to floor. Left leg is going to step back. Option here. You can drop that back knee down or leave it lifted, right? Your choice. I'm going to leave mine lifted. I'm going to take one of my blocks and place it just inside of my right foot. And then I'm going to turn my shoulders into my right knee. So left shoulder, right knee towards each other. My right hand can go to my hip. I might enjoy placing my hand behind my head or even lifting my arm up to the sky. This shoulder's not feeling so great today, so I'm going to just keep my hand on my hip for this particular pose. Back leg is strong if the knee is lifted. Taking one more inhale here. As you exhale, bringing yourself back to the front. And then again, with our next inhale, bring that left leg forward. Bend your knees, rise up, reach high. And then palms together at heart center. Exhale. All right, last round for us. Here we go. Inhale, chair pose. 3 count breath here. Excellent. Bending further, reaching down for my props if I've got them. Right leg is going to extend back. You can place that right knee on the ground or keep the knee lifted. Again, I'm going to use my prop here, place my block inside of that left foot and turn to the left, rotating the spine. And then determining here, where do I want my arm? Do I want to lift it here, behind the head, or on the hip? I'm going to do on the hip with this one again on this side. Not to match, because that doesn't really matter, but because that's what feels good. Rooting down into that left foot, taking one more inhale here. As I exhale, coming forward again, grabbing those props. And with my next inhale, bringing feet to the top. Bend knees, rise up, press into the feet, reach overhead, and hands to heart. And release the arms down. Nice. All right, let's move into a balance pose, and then we'll come down to the floor and do some nice lymphatic stretches and movements. I'm going to move this out of the way. And I thought what we might do is tree pose for our balance pose today. So I'm going to, you can always move next to something that can support you. For example, if you have a wall or something nearby and you might need a little additional support, feel free to do that. Right? I'm going to shift weight into my left foot and then kind of find a tree branch here on the right. So maybe my big toe decides to stay on the floor today. That might be what feels best for me. Or maybe I'm going to try and challenge a little bit, maybe bring my foot between the ankle and the knee, drawing that knee out to the side, opening that hip, and then maybe I can bring my hands to my heart center. Softening the eye gaze onto something that is not moving so that I can kind of find balance there. Noticing my breath, I might begin to lift my arms, grow my branches. I might decide not to do that at all today, right? It's entirely up to you what feels best in your body. And then gently bringing hands to heart center once again. I'm going to bring that knee forward now and extend the leg out. And then gently release the foot down. And release the arms. Nice. Again, if you were wobbly today, don't worry about it, right? We all get wobbly from time to time. And it's okay. That's why this is called a practice, right? Because we have to continually work on it. Let's try and take the second side, shifting weight into that right foot. I'm going to go ahead and see where I feel best for balance on this side today for today's practice. I could do the heel. I could do the foot between the knee and the ankle. Or maybe I might even try and go a little higher, placing the foot between the knee and the groin. Ooh, I don't know. That might be a little aggressive. All right, I think I got it. Rooting down into that foot on the floor. Core is engaged as I gently draw the navel in once again, softening my eye gaze, and then deciding maybe to grow my branches here. Nice, and then bringing hands maybe back down slowly, Using the breath. Drawing that left knee forward. Oh, and oh, I got a touchdown. And then extending the leg out. And then releasing the foot down and relax. Go ahead and shake out that right foot. Been doing a lot of work for you, right? And then let's come down to the mat. So I'm just going to go ahead and come on down here. I'm going to adjust my camera once again so that you can see a little better what I'm doing. There we go. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to place this off to the side. I don't really need that right now. And I'm going to grab my strap and have my strap nearby. And then I'm just going to lay down once again, laying down. And then from here, I'm going to cross my right ankle over my left knee, coming into what is known as a figure four. And then a little bit of manipulation here. So from here, I'm going to press this right knee forward and then let it come back. Press the right knee forward and let it come back. I'm going to do this about 4 times. Forward and back. And then one more. Forward and back. Releasing my hand, I'm going to rock my legs side to side. I'm going to bring my arms down on the floor for a little bit more of a foundation in case I get a little tipsy. I can even take my arms wider if that helps. I'm going to just make small little rocking motions side to side. Trying, not to make the rocking too big for me personally, because I don't want to torque my low back, right? So maybe I just do small to medium rocks here. Maybe eventually moving into larger side to side motion, but maybe not, right? I really need to listen and acknowledge what feels like my healthy edge here. Let's do one more side to side. Kind of like that move. It feels pretty good. And then I'm going to pause right here in the middle. And from here, we're going to move into our figure four. So a couple of options for you. You can stay just like this, right? If you're already feeling some really nice stretching going on in this hip flexor and maybe even, towards the back and the side of the leg and the IT band, stay here, right? Perfectly fine. We can also place a block under the left foot. So that's going to elevate the left leg and create a little more resistance in this shape. And it's also still kind of restorative, right? So we're feeling very supportive in our restorative shape here. And then the last place that I can offer you here is to reach between your legs and pull that left leg toward you. Now, this is the most intense, at least it is for me, and I'm feeling this the most. So you need to determine what feels best for practice today. You have lots of options here. Try to maintain contact with the tailbone on the floor because we want to keep the integrity of this stretch in the hips and legs and not in the spine. Spine needs to stay out of it. Taking one more inhale here. One more exhale. And then releasing my hands, bringing everything back to the floor. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my knees wide, take my feet wide, and I'm just going to windshield wiper one knee at a time towards the floor here. So I'm just going to have this little movement. Ooh, we just heard a little click. It happens. It's okay. And then coming right back to the center, pausing here, seeing how I feel, noticing this whole right side and the left side. And again, just observing, not critiquing. Cool. All right, let's move to the second side. So placing my right foot on the floor, I'm going to cross that left ankle over the right knee. And here comes that little lymphatic flow movement. I'm going to push the knee, and the knee is going to come back. And then I'm going to push the knee and back. 2 more. Push and release. And last one, push and release. Pausing here, our side to side rocking. Side to side. Ooh, this side feels different, which is okay, right? The sides of our body are different for various reasons. So why should we think that they're going to feel the same? We are typically one side dominant, right? So we are either right side dominant or left side dominant. Whichever side is more dominant, we're going to have more active muscles on that side, right? So it might feel a little tighter, less range of motion. Trauma, right? Surgeries, all kinds of things can affect the sides. One more on each side, rocking. And then you're going to pause right here in the middle and figure out where you want to take your figure 4 on this side. So options, again, I'll just remind you, stay just like this, right? Right foot on the floor. Elevate the right foot by placing your foot on a block or a prop. That feels different. That might be enough for this side for today. Or if you want, last place, we can reach between the legs and pull the right leg toward you. Try to maintain as much of your spine on the floor as you can. Breathing here. Last 2 breaths here. As I exhale, I'm going to release my hands, bring that right foot back to the floor, uncross my ankle, and then again, if it feels good, I might windshield wiper those knees, right? So drawing each knee down towards the floor. It doesn't have to touch the floor. It's just the general direction, right, towards the floor. And one more. We're good. Okay. All right. We're going to move into a bridge. So I'm going to have you bend your knees and then walk your heels towards your sits bones. The feet are solidly on the ground. And as I press into my feet, I'm going to begin to lift my spine up off the ground. As I lift my spine up, I might begin to roll my shoulders under. What do I do with these hands? Maybe I can interlace them underneath my back here. Maybe. If not, guess what? That's okay. Pressing my knees forward, tucking my chin slightly here, lengthening through the tailbone as best as I can. Pressing down into my feet. Taking one more inhale here. Release your interlaced fingers if you got them, and slowly articulate the spine back towards the floor. one vertebra at a time, nice and slow. And then from here, I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together. Let my knees butterfly out to the sides. If this is too much for the knees, guess what I can do? Grab my props, grab them, place them underneath my legs or knees, right? Just for a little support here. Ooh, that feels really good. Adding a little shoulder stretch here if you want it. You can reach overhead and hold opposite elbows. And that's just going to give a nice little stretch for your shoulders and also for your chest, for your pectoralis. Pausing here for 5 breaths. One more inhale. As you exhale, go ahead, release your arms if you have them. We'll go ahead, remove these props from underneath and bring my knees together. Brings us to our final pose before Shavasana, which is a lovely lymphatic twist. So I'm going to roll over onto one side. Could be the right side, could be the left side, doesn't matter. And I'm going to bring my knees to the edge of my mat, and then I'm also going to bring my feet to the edge of my mat. So I have a nice little right angle going on here with my legs. I'm going to take my arms out in front of me. You know what? I think I need some support for my head. So I might use a block underneath my head. Oh yeah, that feels so much better. And then I'm going to place one palm on top of my top palm, on top of the bottom palm, palm to palm. With my next inhale, I'm going to drag this top hand to my elbow. And then as I exhale, I'm going to press down and bring that hand back to the hand. Inhale, let's go to the bicep. Just fingertips massaging. And then as I exhale, I'm going to press my whole hand down and palm to palm. I'm going to go to my shoulder now. Inhale, fingertips just gliding along to the shoulder. Exhale, press down towards the palm. We're going to go a little further. Inhale, coming all the way across, fingertips to the opposite shoulder. Exhale, press the palm down all the way across. And then we're going to open up this time. So inhale, fingertips drag across, up the arm, across the chest, and open up here. Now you may need some support under that left shoulder or whatever shoulder is behind you. Feel free to use your prop there as well, supporting the shoulder or the arm. I love this pose, not only for the benefit of the little lymphatic massage that we're doing, but also because the hips are anchored. So our pelvis is neutral, which is allowing us to really rotate the spine. I want to say honestly, right? Honestly rotating the spine, leaving our hips out of it. With your next inhale, you're just going to take that left arm all the way back across and palm to palm. Bend your elbows. And then if you like, roll over onto your back and then switch sides. You're going to roll onto your left side or whatever side you didn't do before. So I am going to just switch sides so you can actually still see me if you need that visual. I'm going to go ahead and place myself down on this block again. If that felt good. Bend my knees. So knees and hips are in one line, and then knees and ankles are in another line. I'm going to bring my palms out in front, just like we did before. Fingertips to elbow. Inhale. And then exhale back to the hand, pressing down. Inhale, fingertips to bicep. Exhale, pressing down, hand to hand. Inhale, fingertips to shoulder. Exhale, pressing down, palm to palm. Inhale, coming all the way across, fingertips to the opposite shoulder. And then pressing down all the way across. And you determine the amount of pressure, right? That feels best. And then we're going to open up here. Inhale, fingertips drag all the way across. And open. Ooh, wow, yeah, this side a little tighter for me. But that's okay, right? Just observing, not critiquing. Just noticing. So perhaps this side I need to be a little more gentle. How can I compassionately react to my body? This body, which has gotten me this far. Feeling the rotation in the spine, relaxing through the shoulders. Even check in with the forehead and the jaw here. Make sure they are relaxed as well. We're running a little late, I apologize. Last two breaths here in our twist. With your next inhale, you're just going to take that back arm all the way across, palm to palm. Go ahead and bend your elbows. If you like, go ahead and roll onto your back. And begin to assemble yourself for your Shavasana. So relaxation after a yoga practice is so important. It allows the body to just absorb all of that good yoga you just did. And as we know, we were working, so it's important to have balance. And when you work hard, you rest. That old adage of no pain, no gain is a fallacy. Perhaps close your eyes here. Let's take a few cleansing breaths. So a cleansing breath is an inhale into the nose and then a nice ha breath out of the mouth. So inhale into the nose here. And then it's like a heavy sigh. Inhale nose. Last one, inhale nose. Resuming normal breath. Allowing the body to become heavy, very still, and relaxed. I want to thank you so much for joining me for today's lymphatic flow. Please feel free to stay in your Shavasana as long as you would like. I'm going to sign off. But I appreciate your time. And I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Until our paths cross again, the light in me celebrates the light in each of you. Thanks so much.